Whoopi Goldberg, who, by the way, I hope is still a friend, we can disagree with each other, should not be canceled or put off her show, as much as I totally disagree with her crazy statement. Free speech. She should be there. She shouldn't get a timeout.
Not every single thing has to be for everybody.
Right.
We can have platforms that have stuff on them that not everyone on that platform or who consumes stuff on that platform enjoys. And The View is a particularly weird place to do a cancellation.
Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America.
But
there is one view.
Picture this. Bill Maher and Whoopi Goldberg, two major voices in American pop culture, suddenly caught in a feud. Not a playful one, but a real clash. They were never close, but there was always mutual respect. Until now. That respect is gone, replaced by public tension and ideological sparks that what set off. It all started when Arnold Schwarzenegger, yes, the Terminator himself, appeared on The View. He spoke about his immigrant journey and the American dream, something Bill Maher once joked about, saying Arnold came to America with nothing but a dream and maybe a jar of protein powder. That light moment soon spiraled into a heated debate, and the feud between Maher and Goldberg was born.
For the panel, what is the panel's reaction to Arnold Schwarzenegger saying that immigrants should behave like guests? Well, they're truncating that a little, but that is basically what he said. And he is, of course, an immigrant himself. He came here with nothing but a loincloth and a jar of protein powder, and look how far he got. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
I completely agree.
Look at Arnold now. Hollywood legend, former governor, global icon. So when he said immigrants should behave like guests, it sounded like classic Schwarzenegger, bold and unapologetic. Many agreed, but Whoopi Goldberg didn't. She felt his comment was disrespectful to immigrant communities as tensions rose on The View. Arnold stood by his words. Then Bill Maher stepped in, backing Arnold, and calling his point reasonable. That was it for Whoopi. To her, Maher's support wasn't just disagreement. It felt like he was siding against immigrants. And just like that, their uneasy respect turned into a public rift.
We're going to sometimes have a very different opinion. And the answer is not to make them sit in a corner for 2 weeks. That is insulting. It's so insulting to make a 65-year-old, the person at ABC News said, I've asked her to take time to reflect and learn about the impact of her comments. Reflect. How insulting for someone of her age, who's a sophisticated person, and the impact of her comment. There is no impact. There aren't neo-Nazis waiting for the green light from the lady on The View to go out and do a new crystal knot.
Yeah, so right. And the whole point of free speech is we don't need free speech when we're right, when everyone agrees with us. We need free speech when we're wrong.
Let's step back. Was Arnold really wrong? His message was simple. When you're a guest, show respect. Yet that idea somehow caused outrage. Bill Maher agreed, calling it common sense, while Whoopi saw it as offensive. But Maher didn't try to cancel her. Instead, he defended her right to speak freely, saying real free speech means protecting even the opinions we don't like.
Whoopi Goldberg, who, by the way, I hope is still a friend, we can disagree with each other, should not be canceled or put off her show, as much as I totally disagree with her crazy statement. Free speech. She should be there. She shouldn't get a timeout.
And Maher's right. Free speech isn't needed when everyone agrees. It matters when someone says something unpopular. That's the real test. But that's where Whoopi struggles. She's outspoken, but when someone challenges her perspective, it suddenly becomes offensive or dangerous. The View often proves that point. It's less a debate and more an echo chamber, one dominant opinion, repeated loudly. Disagree, and you're met with eye rolls, mockery, or quick shutdowns.
It's called The View?
It's called The View. It's not called The Facts.
Yeah, but isn't it interesting that it's called, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America.
But
there is one view.
It's called The View, not The Facts. And that's the real issue. Too often, only one side of the conversation gets heard. Even when the show brings on so-called conservatives like Alyssa Farah-Griffin, they're treated more like targets than panelists. The moment they speak up, they're met with eye rolls, sharp glares, and constant interruptions. It's not a debate, it's a takedown. And yet, viewers are expected to believe this is what open discussion looks like. Please, 5 next voice. Maher, on the other hand, thrives on real debate. He doesn't want Whoopi silenced, even when he completely disagrees with her. And that's what makes this feud more than just celebrity drama. It's a reflection of America's growing divide that on one side, you have people like Maher who believe in open dialogue, even when it's uncomfortable. On the other, people like Whoopi who preach diversity but often reject it when it comes to differing opinions. The moment someone challenges a narrative, the response isn't discussion, it's attack. Today, it's less about honest debate and more about controlling the conversation.
The point is they didn't vote for him because of racism and misogyny. They voted for him because they felt like, I think the biggest common denominator in this election is people want a good life and ability to provide for their family.
Well,
whether we agree or not with Donald Trump's plans,
black people
they thought that he was reflective.
One of the poorest demographics in this country, but they voted for Kamala Harris.
But there was a split and more of them voted for Donald Trump than had historically. I think that there's such a desire. If you really think the vast majority of this country voted because of racism and misogyny, you're missing it. Most of my family, a lot of my family doesn't have college degrees.
But the stats are the stats.
But that's not, it doesn't say I voted for Donald Trump because of racism. That's not what stat. What stat are you talking about?
You can't dissect the two.
Yes, you can. There's a lot
hold on.
And all this is unfolding while the immigration debate heats up. Kamala Harris's stint as border czar is widely seen as a failure, and Donald Trump continues to gain traction with minority voters. You can mock Trump all you want, but the numbers tell a different story. He's making inroads where Democrats once felt secure. Instead of acknowledging that shift, the View panel dismisses it with the usual labels: racism, misogyny, or ignorance. It's a tired response, and it avoids the real conversation America needs to have.
It just made me think. I'm sure every single member of the Saturday Night Live cast was a Harris supporter. But what if one of them wasn't? What if one of those cast members was for Trump? Would they have felt comfortable saying so? I really don't think so. They would have had to keep it to themselves. That's not a good place for us to be. And I remember when Elon Musk hosted, and this is well before he was a Trumper. This is 3 or 4 years. He was just the richest man in the world. And a number of the cast members on Saturday Night Live, they didn't want to deal with him. And I was thinking, really? You have Elon Musk on your show for a week. You could talk even about this issue that bothers you so much, that he's so rich and lots of people aren't. But no, you don't want to even deal with him. That's what I hate about the left.
People don't vote out of hate. They vote because they want stability, safety, and a better life for their families. When Democrats write off those concerns as bigotry, they're missing the point entirely. Keep doing that, and they'll keep losing support. But you'll never hear that kind of honesty on The View.
Harris would be the first woman president, first black woman president, and first Asian president. But I don't vote for who will be the first. I vote for who will win. And for whatever reason, Harris has never been popular. You can count the number of delegates she won in the 2020 primaries on one hand, as long as that hand has no fingers. Sometimes life isn't fair. It's not fair that she's not popular. She's intelligent and accomplished, and in fact was put in charge of the border. And look at how... Okay, bad example.
So where does that leave the Maher-Whoopi feud? Honestly, it's bigger than the two of them. This is about the kind of conversation we want in America. Do we want safe echo chambers where only one opinion is allowed? Or do we want open, sometimes uncomfortable, but honest debate? Maher, love him or hate him, stands firmly on the side of free speech. His message is simple. Even if I think you're wrong, you still get to speak. Whoopi, meanwhile, seems stuck in the cancel culture mindset, quick to shame or shut down those who don't follow her script. That's why this feud keeps getting attention. It represents a larger cultural clash over expression and tolerance. But here's the twist. Despite their differences, Maher still calls Whoopi a friend. He doesn't want her silenced. He just wants her to understand that disagreement isn't the same as disrespect. And in today's world, That's a message worth hearing.
I think I touched on that a little bit. I think whenever you have a candidate like Kamala Harris that clearly was not the choice of the Democrat Party, when she got shoehorned into that space, and then you tried to roll out Megan Thee Stallion and Lil Jon, the East Side Boys, and everybody was trying to say, hey, black men, let's vote for this now. I mean, it just really didn't work.
Well, most of them still did.
Well, one in three black men in the state of Texas voted for President Trump.
Okay, well, let's use men and in the state.
Well, I'm being very specific here because it does matter. We are seeing a seismic shift, and that's the most vote, the highest vote that we got in the Republican Party in the history.
No doubt about it. Trump did better with minorities across the board each time he ran.
Not every single thing has to be for everybody.
Right.
We can have platforms that have stuff on them that not everyone on that platform or who consumes stuff on that platform enjoys. And The View is a particularly weird place to do a cancellation.
So let me ask you, whose side are you on? Is Maher right to defend free speech, even when it means protecting views you can't stand? Or do you side with Whoopi, believing that some opinions cross a line and shouldn't be given platform? Drop your take in the comments. And if you like this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and share it with someone who loves a real cultural debate. Because this Maher-Whoopi clash isn't just Hollywood drama. It's a mirror of a bigger question in America. Do we still believe in open dialogue, or are we letting outrage decide who gets to speak? One thing for sure, this conversation is just getting started.